Welcome back to the Southern Scene on WSAV. It's time now for our legal scene. You know, at some point or another, we all get sick or injured and have to receive medical care from a physician or a medical facility. But what happens when that care you receive is considered negligent? There's a lot of trust we put into those physicians and to those facilities. We decided to take that question to our legal expert, Mark Tate, today as we talk about medical malpractice. And now Mark Tate joins us of Tate Law Group for our legal scene. So today we're talking about medical malpractice.
Yes.
And we've talked about that a little bit before, but for some of our viewers who are joining us today, talk about medical malpractice. What exactly is it?
You know, you asked me what it is, and it actually does have a very specific definition. And what it means is it's when a doctor fails to exercise the skill and care required by an ordinarily skilled doctor under similar conditions and like surrounding circumstances. And so what that means is it's not a hindsight test. So if a doctor makes a mistake, you can't look back and say, oh, well, you know, you should have known not to do that. No, you got to put yourself in the shoes of the doctor then and determine what he should or should not have done.
So let's talk about some examples. Give me some examples of medical malpractice
Sure.
with a physician and also with a medical facility.
Yeah, well, it's medical malpractice if you're a psychiatrist, and it's also a crime to have sex with your patient. That's a prime example of medical malpractice, and we're working on a case like that right now. You know, medical malpractice is, you know, cutting nerves when you shouldn't cut those nerves. Those are examples of medical malpractice. The most common area of a medical mistake, however, is not made by doctors. It's made by hospitals. And the most common mistake made by hospitals through its agents is giving people the wrong prescription. Or overdosing them on the prescription drug that they're given, or not following doctor's orders when it comes to monitoring what's going on with the patients under their care. Those are the most common medical errors.
A lot of errors occur, though, also with surgery.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But wouldn't that be more of the physician as
Well,
opposed to?
it depends, and you know, surgical errors are very difficult to ferret out. A surgical error, you know, would require having an expert to go back and examine what that surgeon saw then and there, and say that that was a mistake. So that's a difficult issue. The law has changed in Georgia, where now if they're working on you and it's an emergency situation, they can only be held accountable if they are grossly negligent. And gross negligence means, as defined by the court most recently, it means almost intentional. They have to intentionally harm you.
But you have people call you all the time.
All the time, every day.
So walk me through the process. What happens? Somebody
Sure.
calls you, and if you decide whether or not you're going to take the case.
Yeah, somebody will call here and say, this is what happened to me. First of all, if you're the one picking up the phone calling me, and you're the one complaining of an injury, more likely than not, we're not going to be able to take your case, because the law has been fixed in Georgia that you pretty much have to be permanently disabled, permanently disfigured, or dead for you to have a medical malpractice case that is truly one in which I can tell you that we can make a difference and recover for you.
So what is someone to do? I mean, they're at home right now. Is there a time limit, by the way?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, you have.
But you were telling me something. We were talking before. You said 2 years, but then you said something about 5 years.
Yeah, there's a 5-year statute of ultimate repose, so that.
Now, what does that mean?
What that means is, yeah, if let's say you're a minor, and you're hurt, then under ordinary circumstances, the statute of limitations is stopped until you're an adult, because you can't contract as a minor. So the statute of limitations doesn't run till you turn 18. But under Georgia law, that doesn't matter. You have to file your lawsuit within 5 years of the negligent act or omission. And regardless of whether you're a minor, as an adult, if you have suffered an injury that you don't learn about for 6 years, you can't file that lawsuit, because the statute of ultimate repose is you ain't filing anything after 5 years. It doesn't matter if you found out about it. It doesn't matter if the doctor didn't tell you about it and he knew about it. Unless there's fraud, you can't stop that 5 years from running.
And you don't waive the right if you are having some type of procedure, you're staying in a medical facility, when you sign all those papers.
No, yeah, that's a great question. Those papers say this.
Yeah, because it really is scary, because you go in for some type of procedure and they say you're going to, it talks about you could suffer a heart attack, you can, basically you can die, you can, all these different things that can go on.
Yeah.
So you sign that knowing the risk.
No.
So if something like that happens or occurs, are you waiving your right to?
Absolutely not. No, what is happening that you're agreeing to is that you understand that in the absence of negligence, that these things can happen to you. And so what you're saying is, I understand that these things, death, infection, whatever it may all occur, even in the absence of negligence. But you don't waive the right to recover if somebody is negligent. So there's no harm in signing those things. They've never stopped a lawsuit. So, like I said, you're not waiving your right to recover if somebody is negligent.
So if someone's watching at home and they have questions about medical malpractice, there are certain kinds of attorneys that you want to make sure that you deal with.
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
Well, to the people watching at home, that's quite easy. You can call me. I want to talk to you and find out what's wrong with you. If you're watching from the hospital, though, is the most important time to figure out to call the right lawyer.
Thanks a lot, Mark. It's always great to see you. Some great information there. If you have questions for our legal expert, Mark Tate, or you'd like more information on Tate Law Group, all you have to do is go to the website you see on your screen. Don't go away. We'll be back with our scene of the day and our entertainment scene right after this. Stay with us.